in.
And now, live from New York City via Los Angeles, California, it's time for The View from Over Here with the man who has a view for all seasons, your host, Stan Weisleder.
Hey there, everybody out in Radio Land. This is Stan Weisleder at crntalk.com. I am in the studio right here in downtown glamorous Sunland together with Malcolm Burman.
Well, beautiful downtown Sutherland. But one question before we start. Paul, weren't you supposed to change that music? Yeah, we have Eine Kleine Nacht music, but we wanted to put something Rhapsody in Blue.
Yeah, Paul, you're fired. Pick up your check and go home.
No, you're rehired. You're rehired.
Okay.
We can't get anybody else competent for how much we pay him.
All right, let's get on to the news of the week.
Go for it.
First, with the missing airplane, let me just say this. With 239 people aboard a plane, I would imagine that at least half of them had cell phones in their pockets. Why didn't any of them call or try to call or send out some kind of a message before their batteries died? That's a question. That's the only question I have.
Well, they could have been poison gas to knock them unconscious. And there was also something that I haven't heard, but that the plane went up to 45,000 feet, where possibly they needed the air masks to keep them alive for oxygen. Maybe they knocked them all out. Who knows?
Well, maybe one day we'll find out. Anyway, let's get back to some other news. You like pizza, Malcolm? With or without pepperoni?
Well, I like it with, but the big question is, how do you eat pizza?
With your fingers. Listen, East Coast Pizzeria, which is in, of all places, Barrow, Alaska. Okay, that's pretty far north. It's one of the three most northern TH pizza places in the United States, just above the Arctic Circle. Okay? But this one delivers. So try to imagine what they have to go through during their busy season. It's winter. It's pitch black outside, 24/7, day and night. And it's also 40 below zero. And if that isn't enough, Alexander Joksik, who is their delivery boy...
He's a jokester.
Yes. Sometimes he encounters polar bears in the middle of the street while making his deliveries.
Yeah, but polar bears do not like pizza. That's a fact.
Yeah, but they like people. Yeah, that's a hell of a way to make a living.
Now, what I had asked you before, don't you remember a few months ago, where the mayor of New York sat down and had pizza, and he ate it with a knife and fork? And New Yorkers do not eat pizza with a knife and fork. You take this. You take.
You mean the current mayor did that?
The current mayor did that, and it became a national news topic.
Well, that's like having a corned beef sandwich with butter on it or mayonnaise.
Well, that was a scene from Annie Hall and Woody Allen. They go to a delicatessen, and Diane Keaton as Annie Hall orders salami on white bread with mayo, and they show you the picture of Woody Allen's face. Now, if you're not into the Jewish religion or kosher, ask a Jewish friend to explain to you the meaning of that.
I will. I'll get around to that.
Yeah, Paul, you ask someone. Paul, well, we'll tell you after
Paul,
the show.
Paul, go back to your ham sandwich.
You're Jewish. Okay, so you know. Okay.
And we'll have to drop a couple of F-bombs to make sure Paul is awake in the control room. For those people who don't know, there's about an 8 to 10 second delay from when we speak to when it goes out on the air, and Paul's job is to catch anything that he's supposed to catch. So every once in a while we'll throw one at him, just to make sure he's awake.
Well, we look into the control room, and that's why you have the camera. And if he's not paying attention, well, I don't do it, but Stan all of a sudden throws in a word, and all of a sudden you see Paul scramble. Because it's like about a second or two delay before you realize what he said.
Yeah, the kid's a little slow. Hey, I got one for you. Nancy Spielberg, who is the head of Playmount Productions, is in the midst of making a documentary called Above and Beyond. This is about the beginnings of the Israeli Air Force and the brave volunteer fighter pilots that came from all over America back in 1948 in order to make it happen. And I've seen clips of the film, and I have to tell you that even as a 23-year veteran reserve deputy with the LA Sheriff's Department, working as a detective with child abuse and all of the horrendous cases that we come up against, I got choked up seeing these film clips. That's how much it affected me.
Well, wasn't there a movie with? I don't know if it was the Air Force. I think it might have been with Kirk Douglas. Or I remember with General Marcus or something.
Yeah, that was about the beginnings of the Haganah. He was a West Point grad and a World War II vet.
Right.
And he went there to help start up the formation of the Army.
Was that the Army or the Air Force, or?
The Army.
The Army.
Yeah. He had nothing to do with the Air Force. Here's something that you may have read about. Anita Hill, remember her? Okay. And she's back now, and she is the subject of a documentary that is called Anita. I think the documentary should be called He Said, She Said.
Yes. Except he doesn't say much anymore.
No,
now they became...
his best bet is to keep his mouth shut and stay ahead of the game.
When he opens his mouth to say anything, it becomes major news.
Yeah, and I wonder why. And we'll never know what really happened there. Hey, here's something that I really thought was cute. You know, I've heard that in the acting business, for every job available, there are maybe, I don't know if it's that many, but I've heard it said that there are maybe 5,000 or so applicants, all of them qualified. So what do you do if the role is for a baby? You know, like in Infant? A Doll's House, a classic play written by Henrik Ibsen, is now being performed at the Brooklyn Academy of Music.
As we call BAM.
Yes. And instead of using a doll, like in every other performance prior to this date, they have a kid by the name of Liam Leonard, who is 8 months old, and he is hamming it up for $125 per performance. Not bad. So my only question is, did the kid join the union?
If that's a union house, he would have to. If it's a union house.
Well, okay, well, that's my only question. Hey, we have a very interesting and a very entertaining guest today. It's somebody who I've known for a number of years. His name is Sal Richards, and he is one hell of a funny guy. And his own organization is called Laughter is the Best Medicine. He's also been an actor. I've seen him on in the movies, and he's very good. One part in particular, he plays a mafia-type guy, and I wonder, well, anyway, we'll have him on, and he'll tell about it. He also has written a book about his life, and he's in the process now of having possibly a movie made about his life and all of his experiences. So, Paul, do we have him on? Sal, are you with us?
I am here waiting to eat my pizza.
Okay. With or without pepperoni?
And I never would eat a piece of pizza with a knife and a fork. Ever. I don't care how hot it is. I don't care if I burn my palate. Never.
Well, where are you from, Sal? This is Malcolm. Where are you from?
Oh, hi, Malcolm. Yeah, originally I'm from Brooklyn, New York.
What part?
Ridgewood, which is now called Queens.
Oh, I'm Coney Island. I think. Where were you from, Stan?
Brownsville.
My wife was from Sheepshead Bay, but
I know
Ridgewood, Brooklyn. And when I moved out of Ridgewood, a few years later, people would ask me where you're from. When I moved to Long Island originally, I said I'm from Ridgewood, Brooklyn. They said, you mean Ridgewood, Queens? I said, no, I was Ridgewood, Brooklyn. My address was Ridgewood 27, Brooklyn, New York. And then I found out that they changed it to Queens for some reason, something to do with the border when they made the first map or whatever, and it is now called Ridgewood, Queens.
I think it probably had more to do with real estate value, because Ridgewood Queens probably upgraded the neighborhood from Ridgewood, Brooklyn.
Yeah, and even some friends of mine, like Julius LaRose is from Ridgewood, Brooklyn, and Eddie Murphy was from Ridgewood, Brooklyn, and Rosie Perez was from Ridgewood, Brooklyn. So you know, all of a sudden it became Queens. So I will never say I'm from Ridgewood, Queens, ever.
You mentioned eating pizza with a knife and fork. I remember being in the restaurant, I've seen people eat spare ribs with a knife and fork.
No, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. You can't enjoy it because the whole thing is the art of eating a spare rib, is getting it in your fingers and getting the grease on your fingers, on your hands,
in your face,
the barbecue sauce on your lips, on the side. And then it's so sticky, and you can't wait to wash it off.
See, that's a problem I've always had a beard most of my life. To get it on my mustache and my chin, that was a hell of a job getting it off.
Oh yeah, but you look forward to that. That's why it's enjoyable.
No, I enjoyed the meal 2 days later.
Hey Sal, you got to tell us about what you're doing, where you're going, where you're appearing, what's happening with your career and your life.
Nothing at all. Right now,
there goes our show. Thanks very much, Sal, for being on our show.
It's been great. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure. Right now, I'm sitting at my pool here in Florida, enjoying the sun and nice warm breeze that's coming by, and just waiting for this call.
You're waiting for the phone to ring.
Yeah, waiting for the phone to ring. Well, it rang twice already, but I didn't pick it up.
You're living an exciting life.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, down here in Florida, it's great. I mean, you live in Florida, it's the most exciting place in the world to live. I mean, here you get up at 7 o'clock in the morning and that's it. You're up for the day. You know. And you say, honey, what do you want to do today, sweetheart? Well, let's sit over here. And you move to another place by the pool. You sit somewhere else.
It sounds like a fantastic life.
Oh, man, it's exciting. It's exciting. And the time it takes to go from one area to the next area, it's really enjoyable because you feel like you're on a trip.
It reminds me of an old-time actor, and he always hated Los Angeles. And he was from New York, and I'm forgetting his name, the piano player with Gershwin. But anyway, they asked him, they said, then he moved to do movies. He moved to L.A., and he said, well, how's living in Los Angeles? He says, fine. I wake up in the morning, go to the pool, go to sleep, and I wake up, I'm 80 years old. He said, sounds like your life.
Right. Well, no, not exactly. There's a lot of things to do down here. We do a lot of stuff. You know, we go out a lot, and we see a lot of people. We go out to dinners. And, of course, I do my shows down here during the season. I just finished a full run down here. And, unfortunately, the other night, I had to fill in for the late David Brenner, who passed away just Saturday.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was kind of difficult because when they asked me to go fill in for him at this one particular place, he was still alive as far as we all knew. Ooh. And we got to the venue, and before I went on stage, the MC says, as you know, David Brenner was taken ill, and he's in the hospital, so we're very fortunate enough we're able to get Sal Richards to come in and fill in. So there was some slight applause there, but then one person yelled out, he died an hour ago in the audience. And I heard that backstage, and I just cringed. I felt, man, I got to go make these people laugh now. They just paid to see David Brenner. Somebody yelled out that he died, and now I got to go be funny.
Yeah,
that's what I do.
And there's your act.
Yeah, well, you know, I went out and did it, Stan. You know me. I just went out and did what I had to do. They came to laugh, and they certainly did. And it sort of took away the strain of hearing that he died. You know, I was sorry to hear that he died, but this is what I do for a living. You know,
well, look, the name of your organization is Laughter is the Best Medicine.
Well, it's not my organization. It's just a phrase that I think that laughter is the best medicine. I've always thought that all my life. And that comes from a book that was written by Norman Cousins many years ago.
Right, yeah, I've read that book.
Yeah, and, you know, and I've used it everywhere I go. Laughter is the best medicine because, you know, sometimes you go on stage and there are people out there, you don't know that they're suffering, if they're going through things, and I meet them after the show and they said, we're so glad we came tonight. For the hour that you were on, you took away my pain. I was suffering from this.
Anyway, so I hate to cut you off, but we're coming up to a break. And hang on, we'll be right back. You're listening to The View from Over Here, heard on CRN Digital Talk Radio and carried on the World Wide Web at crntalk.com. And you can hear us at www.viewfromoverhere.com. No, we'll be back in a few minutes.
Hi, folks. This is Larry Minetti, and many of you out there suffer from skin problems. Well, I've been telling you for months how to solve that problem. It's called Herpantocin, It's the most unique and effective formula on the market. It cleans your skin from the inside out. It gets rid of all kinds of acne on your back, your neck, your face, so you can feel and you could look like a movie star. Herpanasin is a natural supplement. It was created by Dr. Wayne Diamond and his staff, and trust me, this really works. I've been on these supplements for over a year now and never had a problem. There is no reason in the world to wake up and be afraid to look in the mirror. You trust Larry. Just try it. Call 888-467-4200. 888-467-4200.
Let me take just a moment or two, if I may, and talk about a great place to eat. That's right, for you folks anywhere in the eastern San Fernando Valley, drop into Bob's Big Boys. That's right, in Sun Valley at 8274 Sunland Boulevard. Now, everybody remembers the name Bob's. They're getting bigger and bigger every day, and little old Bob carrying the hamburger in his checkered overalls is the same Bob that you remember from back through the years. And, of course, if you want to go in for a great lunch, remember their classic burger, the original double-deck hamburger combination. Delicious 100% pure ground beef in 2 patties with American cheese, lettuce, and our famous Big Boy special sauce. The name is Bob, and I think when you go in, you'll say, by golly, I'm sure glad that I found this restaurant because it's good for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. They've got all kinds of things, and all you have to do is remember. Bob's Big Boy in Sun Valley at 8274 Sunland Boulevard. It's a great place to eat.
Time's running out. You're maxed out on your credit cards. The collection calls are coming every day, and now you're 2 payments behind on your mortgage. Every time you turn on the radio, there's some cheerful couple telling you how they got out of debt overnight. Their stress is gone, and everything's just wonderful. Come on. The truth is, what sounds too good to be true is too good to be true. Banks don't build skyscrapers so you can walk in and settle your credit card debt for pennies on the dollar. You need real help, and you need it now. Not bankruptcy. That should be your last choice. We're Credit Card Relief, and we've been helping people just like you for nearly a decade. We're the only attorney-driven program dedicated to helping you get out of debt in months instead of years, saving you thousands, and without risking your family home. We know what we're doing, and we don't make promises we can't keep. The consultation is free, and the relief is real.
800-981-7595. 800-981-7595. 800-981-7595.
Go, Stan.
Go? Where do you want me to go, Malcolm? Hey there, everybody. This is Stan Weisleder at crntalk.com with Malcolm Burman. Malcolm, you woke me up from that snooze.
Well, that's it.
And we have our special guest today, Sal Richards.
You're staring at Paul.
Paul?
Listen, can you give me that number for that credit repair that was just on?
Hey, listen, Sal, I know you know a lot of people in your business. You get around a lot. There's somebody who we may have come on in maybe next month, Barbara Brighton.
Oh, yeah, I know Barbara Brighton. She lives down here in Florida. She's Joan Rivers impersonator.
Yeah, she used to be my neighbor here in Los Angeles, and when she's on my Facebook, so when she found out that you're going to be on the show, she said, Sal's an old friend of mine. I said, not that old, but...
Yeah, I know. As a matter of fact, I saw her on Facebook, and she said to say hi to you, by the way. I forgot to tell you that.
Oh, my God. I think the world is connected by Facebook.
Well, you got Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, so forth.
It's so much out there. It gets annoying after a while, though.
So how come they can't find the plane?
I know where the plane is. I do. It's where Jimmy Hoffa was buried.
Right, I think so.
You know.
Well, they say who we need now is Hervé Villachez. You know,
yes.
The plane, boss. The plane.
The plane. To tell you the truth, I think that plane landed somewhere. That's the way I feel. I feel it's in a remote area. It landed somewhere, and for whatever reason, I don't know if it actually crashed, because it's just a mystery. To turn off all the transponders and everything, this guy had a plan to begin with. We know that now, anyway.
Well, do you think it was abducted by one of these large alien spacecrafts?
Listen, anything is possible nowadays. I mean, look at the Bermuda Triangle years ago when planes disappeared and boats disappeared. It's a phenomenon that still can't be answered.
Yeah, what about these ships where the whole crew would vanish and the ship is sailing on like nothing happened?
Exactly. I love that movie. That was a great movie. The Haunted Ship.
Yeah. Sal, have you been doing any touring around the country?
Yeah, I've been touring. I was in Michigan for a while. I did a couple of dates in Michigan. I went to Chicago. I went back to New York.
I hope it wasn't recently.
No, it wasn't recently. With all that snow and everything.
That's what I mean.
I know. I spoke to my friend Joe from Andiamo, Italia, in Warren, Michigan, and he said they were really suffering up there with the weather, and the cold was like 15 below zero.
Well, that's global warming that's doing it.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that. I only know about comedy. I don't know about global warming. I don't know anything.
Well, you know, comedy is really, as far as I know, is based on tragedy or somebody's hard luck removed a few steps.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Stan, comedy is a very serious business. You know, a lot of your comics out there. There are some comics that are out there right now that, you know, they're always on. They're always doing shtick. They're always on. If they're with a crowd of people, they got to be funny. They got to make themselves known. They got to make it known that they're in the area or they're in the crowd. And then there are a lot of people that just sit back and relax and take it easy and save everything for the stage. I'm one of those guys.
Yeah. I've seen you. You're like that.
You know, I'm very reserved. I'm quiet. I don't have to, prove to anybody how funny I am.
And you know who was like that? Sid Caesar was like that.
Yeah, exactly. And Sid was the best. He was the greatest.
He would just listen and learn and suck it all in.
And I learned from him when we used to do the shows at the Beverly Hills High School, you know, for the reunion show.
Yeah.
I'll never forget one night, you know, I got friendly with Sid many years ago. I did a movie called Over the Brooklyn Bridge with Elliot Gould and Merrill Hemingway and Sid Caesar.
Nice cast.
And we got very, very friendly, Sid and I, and I've been to his house on many occasions and had dinner and everything like that. So one night at the Beverly Hills High School, you know, he was in the audience, and I said, Sid, let me tell you something. You don't know what an honor it is to be performing. I said, there's a lot of people here, but it's an honor to be performing for you right now, because growing up, everything that I have now in my act and my style, I got from you. Sid stood up and said, Sal, can I have it back? And it was a thrill for me to know that these are guys that when I was younger, I used to send away for their autographed pictures. I used to stand on line in New York at the Red Button Show to get into the theater to see him. And all these, Milton Berle and all these people. And then after so many years becoming friendly with them, having their phone numbers in my phone and being able to call them and converse with them, just as I'm talking with you.
Okay, Sal,
it's really a thrill.
Sal, did you read the write-up that I did about Sid Caesar's funeral?
Stan, hold on to that. We're coming up to a break.
Oh, a break.
Yeah,
another break. Well, I'm glad you have sponsors.
We got to pay the bills. You're listening to the View from Over Here, heard on CRN Digital Talk Radio, and carried on the World Wide Web at crntalk.com, and you can hear back shows www. From Over Here. Know the. Be back in a few minutes.
Hi everyone, this is Robert Conrad reminding you to join me each week on CRN for the PM show with Robert Conrad. We'll read your emails, take your calls, and chat with some of the hottest stars in Hollywood. Tune in Thursdays to the PM show with me, Robert Conrad, right here on CRN Digital Talk Radio.
Tune in to the PM show with Robert Conrad, 3 p.m. Pacific Time, 6 p.m. Eastern, right here on CRN Digital Talk Radio.
Kaanapali Beach Hotel, Maui, Hawaiian Hotel.
Located in the heart of Maui's premier resort, Kaanapali Beach Hotel is officially recognized as Hawaii's most Hawaiian hotel and the #1 best value in Hawaii. With a range of accommodations and affordable dining options, this is the ideal setting to turn Hawaiian dreams into lifelong memories. Live Hawaiian entertainment every evening, free year-round children's programs, weekly arts and crafts fairs, welcome breakfast, and departure kukui lei ceremonies add to the value. Swim in the whale-shaped pool, indulge in the fabulous spa and hotel salon. Enjoy Hawaiian hospitality at its best at the Ka'anapali Beach Hotel. Call 800-262-8450 or go to kbhmaui.com. That's kbhmaui.com. Aloha.
Ka'anapali Beach Hotel, Maui's Hawaiian Hotel.
Welcome back to the No Monthly Mortgage Payment Show.
No doubt you've heard the programs and commercials talking about reverse mortgages. You know, with the famous actors, or they used to be famous actors, telling you how you can eliminate your monthly mortgage payment, still own your home, and live the life of your dreams. Well, most of it's true, but you need to get all the facts. Call now for 7 secrets of reverse mortgages. Call 800-436-9870. This simple-to-read brochure includes information about possible hidden fees, which program benefits you and not the bank, and how to negotiate better terms. Let's put a stop to all the games. Call now to get the facts. Operators are standing by. Call 800-909-1247. That's 800-909-1247. 800-909-1247.
Hi, this is Greg Hunter, the host who loves you the most on CRN Digital Talk. My show Nightside has famous guests, reviews of current attractions, films, plays, dining rooms, all the good things in life. That's at 9 on Sunday evenings. Once again, 9 o'clock Pacific Coast time, Sunday.
It's called the Healthcare Cost Calculator.
One of the unique aspects of this calculator is to help people estimate how much they'll need in terms of money to support out-of-pocket healthcare costs.
In retirement. I'm Aileen Ellis. This is Primetime Focus. Gene Sutzfund is Vice President of Financial Security at AARP, a department that explains resources to consumers.
To help people make informed decisions around major health transitions, retirement savings, planning for the long term from a life perspective.
Medicare does not pay for all medical needs.
A lot of Americans today are overlooking the need to prepare for out-of-pocket healthcare costs. Multiple experts have said that a couple will need close to $250,000, so $250,000 to cover average costs associated with out-of-pocket healthcare costs.
Check out AARP's free anonymous healthcare cost calculator. Details tomorrow. That's Primetime Focus, brought to you by AARP. Hear all our programs on the web at aarp.org/radio.
Hey there, Stan Weisleder here at crntalk.com together with Malcolm Burman and our special guest today, Sal Richards. Sal, before the break, I started to ask you a question. Did you get the opportunity to read the summary that I did about Sid Caesar's funeral?
I can't say that I did. I might have. I don't remember whether
I'll send it to you anyway. But more importantly than that, have to ask you, in all of your sticks and all of your gigs, and I've seen you, I forget how many times, and even when you do the same routines, I find it just as funny as I did the very, very first time. And to me, that is the hallmark of an excellent perfecto comic.
No, thank you very much. You know, what I try to do, Stan, to be honest with you, I try to make it different for myself every time. Even if I'm doing the same material, I'm always trying to add some different stuff. I always try to put 5 or 6 or 7 minutes different into my act than I've been doing.
Do you still do the routine about the president calling the guy for...
Oh, yeah. As long as Obama's president, I'll still do that routine.
Hey, for people that haven't heard it, you want to do it for our audience?
Well, it's sort of out of context. I was just thinking that it would be a lot better world today if we had an Italian in the White House. Now, when I talk about Italian, I do not mean an Italian from Italy. I'm talking about an Italian from the old neighborhood, any old neighborhood. And imagine he's sitting in the White House and he gets that first call that there's a problem. Hello, it's the President of the United States of America. What can I do for you? We got a problem? Oh, yeah, where? Bazonia. Oh, okay. Oh, Bosnia. Yeah, I got it. All right. Stay where you are. I'll call you back in 5 minutes. Picks up the phone. Hello. Let me speak to the Secretary of Defense. It's urgent. Hello, Carmine. Listen, we got a problem at a place called Bazania, but wherever the hell it is. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to go to Chicago. No. 2 guys. That's all we need. Just get 2 guys. And it goes on and on like that. You know, it's very difficult to do without an audience. That's a tough thing to do.
I don't care. It's still funny to me.
And the concept is funny, and I haven't heard it before.
Yeah, well...
Sal, have you thought about expanding it to if we had other kinds of presidents, like a Hispanic, Jewish president, and so forth?
Well, I've done that. And you know, I used to do it that way. I used to do it about an Italian president. Then I'd say, what if we had a Jewish president? Hello? What's the matter? There's a problem? I'm eating right now. Call me later.
Talking, I think Sid Caesar had a routine where he would talk about how the PA system of different airlines was different depending on what nationality it was. It was like, you know, and he would do the dialect, and he said,
oh,
Germany,
yeah, well, he was great at that. He was great at
Germany.
double talking.
You will enjoy this flight.
And you will enjoy the flight. And for those people sitting on the right side, you will see the ocean. For those people sitting on the left, the plane is going down, and we want to thank you for flying Lufthansa Airlines.
Right. He did that with France, Italian, all the dialects. It's hilarious.
He did all the languages. And as a matter of fact, one day we went out for dinner. This was a long time ago. We went to an Italian restaurant, and we went with Larry Spellman, who was managing him at the time. So we sit in the restaurant, the girl comes over, and Sid and I start going back and forth. I go, ti voglio da mangiare stasera, and then he started rattling off, hey, and the girl is looking at us like, I said, what's the matter? Non capisci? She said, oh, sorry, sir. Non capisci what you say. I don't understand what you're saying. And Sis goes, ma God, che mi dicono che ti parla tanto di buono che non la fa pane. E la buono ti rivedi, sì, sale, poi che ne gente. And we said nothing. And people are looking at us like we're talking Italian.
Hey, Sal, I understood every word you said.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm from Brooklyn, I know it.
I went to a Chinese restaurant one day. Because I do that too. I do it just every once in a while. I come up with stuff like that.
Right.
Beep.
Go, Paul.
Did he catch it?
Happened?
Yeah.
He's nodding. Maybe he caught it.
You were beeped.
I didn't say anything.
You woke him
I
up. He was reading a magazine.
And the waitress come over and I said, she looked at me and as my oath to God, she says, I'm so sorry, sir. I don't speak Cantonese. She actually thought I was speaking Cantonese, Chinese. I said, no, neither do I. Give me the menu.
Well, that reminds me of a routine that Buddy Hackett had. You know, one from column A and 2 from column B.
Oh, yeah, one for column A, one for column B. Yep.
And no substitute. Can't have wonton soup. Only egg drop, chicken egg drop. Yeah.
Hey, that reminds me of a story. Many, many years ago when I lived in Brooklyn, we had a phone number that was 1 digit off the local Chinese restaurant, okay? And every Sunday at about 4 o'clock, this guy would call to place an order. And it was getting annoying. So I said to my wife, I'm going to fix this guy's ass or butt. Oh, Paul's, that's okay.
That's okay.
All right. I go down to the Chinese restaurant and I get a copy of their takeout order form, and I'm waiting for this guy to call. Sure enough, the next Sunday he calls at about 5 to 4. I have my list ready, and I put on a Chinese accent as best I could, asking him for his order, and we go down, we take down, check off everything, and I tell him what his total is, and I give him his number, and I say it'll be ready in 20 minutes. He never, ever called back again after that.
He's still waiting.
He's still outside waiting for the order.
Yeah, guys in Brooklyn never give up.
Hey, Sal, are you making any new movies? Because I got to tell you, those that I've seen you in, you are great.
Thank you very much. Well, I did a couple of movies. I did a movie with Vincent D'Onofrio and Brenda Vaccaro.
Hey, those are also Italian people.
And Dan Hedaya. I did a movie called Crackers, and it was quite different than what I'm used to doing. You know, usually I get cast as a mob guy, as a wise guy, and stuff like that. I guess because of the way I look or whatever. I don't know.
And you do that very well.
Sal, hold on to that. But this one question: did you know Henry Hill? He was married to my cousin. Speaking about,
I met Henry Hill about a year and a half ago in Las Vegas. They had a convention in Las Vegas, and he was there with all his paraphernalia and his pictures and all kinds of stuff.
Hey, we got 30 seconds. Sal, let's hold this. We want to hear this whole story, okay?
You're listening to The View from Over Here, heard on CRN Digital Talk Radio and carried on the World Wide Web at crntalk.com. And you can hear back shows at www.viewfromoverhere.com. And we're off.
Someday there'll be a cure. Someday we won't lose the people we love. But when is someday? Someday is today. Thanks to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, hundreds of thousands diagnosed with blood cancer are today living a normal life. We're making cures happen. Join us. Call 888-HELP-LLS. Go to LLS.org. Help us reach today sooner.
I will never forget the day my son Jeremy told me he hated me and slammed the door in my face. I'm behavioral therapist Janet Lehman. Behavior problems can turn the child you love and your life into a nightmare. That's why my husband James and I created the Total Transformation, the step-by-step program that shows you how to fix the worst behavior problems and get your child to respect and listen to you again. No matter what the behavior, defiance, backtalk, angry outbursts, disrespect, we can help you stop it. Now you can get the Total Transformation for free. All you need to do is get the program and let us know how it works for you. You can keep it forever for free.
Limited number of free programs are available, so call right now. 800-223-9206. 800-223-9206. 800-223-9206. Call the Total Transformation now. 800-223-9206.
Stan Weisleder here with Malcolm Burman on CRNTalk.com and our special guest today, Sal Richards. Sal, I apologize for the commercial break, but how about telling that story that we interrupted
I was out there with a convention. I went with Howie Rapp and Allison Chaplin. They had a big convention out there. It was sort of like a entertainment expo. Show business exhibition, and people would set up. They had all their booths. The vendor booths were all set up with pictures of their acts and things that they book and shows that they book and things of that nature. So I was just walking around, and I walked around the turn from where our booth was, and I went to the other side, and sure enough, I see Henry Hill. And I walked right over, and I says, Henry. And well, let's put it this way. I knew him, you know.
What was he selling if he had a booth?
He was selling paraphernalia from the movie.
Like dead bodies and stuff?
or a little white stuff, paraphernalia?
Well, no, he was selling photos.
Okay.
Memorabilia from the movie Goodfellas. And,
I saw him on. I think it was not the Carson show. It was later than that. One of the Jay Leno or something. And they asked him. They said, Henry, hey, you had a hit after that they were going to hit you. Aren't you afraid to be so public? And he said, what are you, crazy? He said, a wise guy calls me up. They take me out to lunch and they give me a script and they say, Henry, how can I get this produced?
Yeah,
he said, it's a different world now.
Oh yeah, it was quite different, but it was very interesting. It was very interesting. And his wife was with him. So was that your cousin?
No, my cousin was the original, Karen.
Oh.
She was the original wife that you see, in the movies.
Yeah.
And she got, a little messed up with him. But now, thank God, she's back on her feet and doing well.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Well, getting back to what I was telling you before, I did a movie called Crackers with Vincent D'Onofrio, and I played a blind bookie. It was very funny.
How the hell does that work, a blind bookie?
Very easy. I just take the money, and they cheat me like crazy. So, but it didn't make any difference. It was the character. He's a real goofball of a character, and he tries to move in with Vincent D'Onofrio in his house because his mother-in-law is living with him, Vincent D'Onofrio, and they're trying to figure a way how to kill her, how to get her out of the house.
Sounds like a good comedy.
No, it was very funny. It was very funny. And then I did a movie called Gus where I played the title role. I played a grandfather who bonds with his grandson through art, through painting. It's based on a true story. The director of the film, it's about his life, how he grew up with his grandfather because his parents were divorced. And this was really far removed from what I've ever done. And I really enjoyed doing it because I got my acting chops out in this. It was a very serious role, and I really loved doing it. But, you know, my first love is comedy. And what I'm doing now is we're working on a script based on my book, Behind the Laughter, Hidden Tears. And it takes you through, I think we're going to call it like father, like son, because it's about my family, my son, Guy Richards, who is also a comic, and we're basing it on that. I don't want to really divulge too much about it, but there's a lot that's involved in it.
All right, we'll have to go see the movie.
Yeah, well, we're waiting for the script. The script is almost finished, and it's going to be a very interesting story. Very interesting.
Now,
Matter
I've
of fact, my
always
son's
felt
going to be in Vegas in April.
I've always felt and I've always said that a good comic like yourself will always make for an excellent actor. And if
That's funny you should say that. That's a great observation, Stan, because if you look at a lot of the actors, Milton Berle was a wonderful actor.
Oh, he was incredible. As was
incredible.
Mickey Rooney. All of the good comics make excellent
Williams.
actors.
And Robin Williams
Robin Williams is an excellent actor.
And I know why. You know why, Sal? Comic, okay, comedian, that type of work is acting, and it's the hardest. It's the hardest kind of acting. If you could be a comic,
exactly right.
You could do any kind of acting.
We go on stage and we do our act, and when we're doing a routine or telling a story, we become that character. For it to be convincing, if you want to make it funny, you've got to become the person you're talking about.
Exactly.
And that's acting. That's acting.
But how does it feel? I don't know. I can imagine going on stage and doing your routine, and for whatever reason, there's no laughter. People are just stone-faced. Has that ever happened to you?
I don't know how that feels.
So you've never experienced that. Hey, I got to tell you, many years ago, we were in Las Vegas, and we were there on the Jewish holidays, okay? And we went to see Jack Carter, okay? And all of his comicry, all of his shticks, his whole routine is kind of oriented towards Jewish humor or people who came from New York. And you know what? Out of everybody in the audience, and they must have all been Mormons, because the only ones who were laughing were me and my wife.
Yeah, well, you see, that's the problem with certain people. I mean, Jack is a very funny guy, was a very funny man. You know, Guy Marks. You remember the name Guy Marks?
No, I don't.
Oh, Guy Marks was a great comic. He was wonderful. He was fantastic. And I was appearing at the Dunes Hotel at the top of the Dunes in Las Vegas, and he was downstairs opening for Robert Goulet. And we went downstairs to see his show, my conductor and I. And we loved his shtick. He was way out. He was way before his time. We were laughing our butts off. I mean, he was hysterical, and the people around us were looking at us like we were fools. He was just so funny. They just didn't get it.
They didn't get it.
And I've had that happen to me. I was working at the Rainbow Grill in New York City.
That's top of the RCA building?
Yeah, Rockefeller. Yeah.
Okay.
That's right. And I'm doing my act, and I am sweating, man. I'm sweating. I'm not getting laugh one. I mean, it's not happening. So I go into the singing and the characterizations and the impressions, and finally they start moving a little because music is an international thing, you know. Everybody understands music. And I'm busting my chops, and I said, what is wrong with you people? Don't you understand English? And a guy stands up in the front. He says, we're very sorry, but we are an organization from Germany. We're here on a convention.
Hold on to that.
We came for dinner.
Hold on to that, Sal.
Don't go away,
We're
Sal.
taking a break. You'll be right back from The View from over here on CRN Digital Talk Radio. See you in a few minutes.
Attention, if you've had hip replacement surgery and suffered any complications, you need to listen to this important legal alert. Major manufacturers have made billions of dollars available to award legal claims for defective hip implants. Thousands of these defective hip implants have been recalled by various manufacturers. If you've had hip surgery and suffered complications, you may be entitled to receive significant compensation to help you deal with your complications. You may be eligible to receive money to help with medical expenses, lost wages, and pain and suffering. Protect yourself by hiring an experienced trial attorney. Our partner law firms are experts in hip replacement surgery lawsuits. Find out now if you're eligible to receive any of the $2.5 billion HIP Settlement Fund. Call now for free information.
855-586-1561. 855-586-1561. 855-586-1561. That's 855-586-1561.
The Trees, an epic novel by Stan Weisleder, told in the Godfather fashion, with two-thirds of the book taking place in Las Vegas and describing the transition from the mob to Howard Hughes to corporate America. This book is Las Vegas. Jim Santangelo from the International Brotherhood of Teamsters said, "I didn't grow up in New York or Las Vegas. I grew up in Jersey City, but I know everyone in this book. I loved it." Hal Rothbart, publisher, says, "I wish I had written it." The Trees by Stan Weisleder.
Time's running out. You're maxed out on your credit cards. The collection calls are coming every day, and now you're 2 payments behind on your mortgage. Every time you turn on the radio, there's some cheerful couple telling you how they got out of debt overnight. Their stress is gone, and everything's just wonderful. Come on. The truth is, what sounds too good to be true is too good to be true. Banks don't build skyscrapers so you can walk in and settle your credit card debt for pennies on the dollar. You need real help, and you need it now. Not bankruptcy. That should be your last choice. We're Credit Card Relief, and we've been helping people just like you for nearly a decade. We're the only attorney-driven program dedicated to helping you get out of debt in months instead of years, saving you thousands, and without risking your family home. We know what we're doing, and we don't make promises we can't keep. The consultation is free, and the relief is real.
800-981-7595. 800-981-7595. 800-981-7595.
Hello, everybody. This is Dick Sinclair. I hope you'll join me for the Polka Party every Saturday afternoon from 4 until 6 Pacific Time right here on CRN Digital Talk Radio. That's right, not only Saturday afternoon, but also early on Saturday and Sunday mornings. So remember, join us for the Polka Party every weekend right here on CRN Digital Talk Radio.
Hi there, Stan Weisleder here at CRNTalk.com with Malcolm Burman and our special guest today, Sal Richards. Sal, so what have you got to say after that little episode where they didn't laugh?
Well, I went over to the maitre d' and I said, "What the heck is going on?" And the maitre d' spoke with broken English. He says, "Sal, we told all of the guys here tonight, we want to see what Sal is going to do when he finds out that these people don't speak English." And every waiter, everybody in the place knew about it. They knew what was going to happen. I says, "Why didn't you tell me? Why did you set me up like this?" He says, we left our ass off here. I says, "I got all to do to understand you, and you put a whole bunch of Germans in the audience that didn't understand a word of English? How could you do that to me?"
Sal, is that when you went into your striptease act?
No.
I think you could have used Sid Caesar then to let him do his German dialect.
Yeah, right. Right. That would have been great.
Anyway, so we're reaching the end of the show. Do you have any final things to say? Anything you want to promote?
I would like to say that it was a pleasure being on your show, and wish you guys lots of luck with it. And if anybody wants to know anything more about me, just go to my website, www.salrichards.com. You can see my book there. You can buy it there. You can see my documentary, and you can buy it there. You can see trailers for both. And see, the book is very interesting. Stan, you read the book. And,
absolutely.
My son has bipolar disorder, so that is in play in the movie. How we deal with that, being in show business and on the road, and the obstacle we face with him having that disorder. So
Hey, I
That's
forgot
why
to ask you at the very, very beginning, so you'll have to excuse. How's Ro doing?
She's doing fine. And your wife is doing well?
Compared to what?
Stan always wanted to be a stand-up comic.
She's doing fine.
Compared to Fran?
I don't know. I don't want to go there now. No. If this were not on the air, I'd give you some funny answer.
Yeah, okay.
Why would you say that, Paul? Be ready. What would you say?
No, I'm not going there.
Well, you opened up the door. You said compared to what?
Yeah, well, I just shut the door.
Shut the door. Anyway, thanks very much, Sal. When the movie comes closer to fruition, we'll have you back on the show to talk about it.
Yeah, I would love to. That would be great. That would be terrific. Thank you very much for the time and for all the accolades and everything else that you had to say. I really appreciate it. Very interesting.
Okay,
and I hope you have continued success.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, and go back to the pool and get a good tan.
Yeah, and I'll see you down in Florida.
All right, buddy.
Okay. Bye.
Take care, guys. Bye.
Anyway, Stan, that was a good interview. He seems like a great guy.
Sal, he's funny as hell, I got to tell you. And when you go out with him, let's say for dinner, he's a nice guy. He's not obnoxious. He's a regular guy. You know, he doesn't come on like, hey, I'm Mr. Comedy. You have to bow down before me. He's a real, regular, nice guy from the old neighborhood.
But I understand now that you are a radio show host, that you have a certain airs about you when you go out to dinner.
Who, me? No, I'm still a plain, ordinary guy from Brooklyn.
That you get insulted when people don't recognize you from your picture.
I don't want them to recognize me. You know, better they don't, because this way they don't know. They never see you coming.
Anyway, Stan, it's the end of the show. Say goodbye to everybody.
Goodbye. Paul has 30 seconds for us left. We have 30 seconds to kill, Malcolm.
Not kill. You're listening to The View from Over Here, heard on CRN Digital Talk Radio and carried on the World Wide Web at crntalk.com. And you can hear our back shows, you know where? www.viewfromoverhere.com.
And we're all over the planet.
We're interplanetary.
Interplanetary.
And we will see
the far reaches of the galaxy.
Of the universe. And we'll see you guys next week. Ta-ta.
The View from Over Here is a co-production of Infinity X and TBG International. For further information, contact Malcolm Burman at 818-687-2784. That's 818-687-2784.
Which was most appropriate because that was your theme.
Are you tired of hearing your favorite talk radio show sound like this? What if you could hear your favorite shows in crystal clear, high-definition digital sound? Well, with CRN Digital Talk